Why was Janemba strong? I'm actually going to get right into it here because the short version is that Janemba was created obviously from the accumulated evil energy of the souls being processed in the other world. And that sounds simple until you actually think about what that means. The creature that becomes Janemba isn't just some random fighter who appeared and then happened to be strong. He's essentially the physical manifestation of enormous concentration of negative energy, not positive energy, negative energy alone. And that's important because it gives us a pretty good explanation for why his power feels so disproportionate to the amount of time he spends existing. There isn't really a traditional growth curve for Janemba. His origin, the power source, is completely unique in its own way. And the movie establishes that an ogre working at the check-in station in the afterlife is exposed to this massive concentration of evil energy, right? And after the machine is then responsible for processing its malfunctions, that energy essentially overwhelms him. And instead of just simply making the guy stronger, it transforms him into a completely new entity. And then, boom, Janemba appears, right? So when people ask why Janemba is so strong, I think the first thing we have to recognize is that he's not really operating under the same rules as most of the fighters in Dragon Ball Z. Goku gets stronger through training traditionally. Vegeta gets stronger through training, combat, pushing his limits traditionally. Majin Buu's powers come from nature and his absorption abilities. Cell is engineered from the genetic material of powerful fighters, but Janemba is something else entirely different. He's basically concentrated negative energy given a body. And that explains another weird thing about him, right? That his strength is not just physical, but that his abilities are so bizarre, and that his entire existence is even more bizarre. It takes a situation that you wouldn't have even imagined at that point in time, just watching the show, not reading the manga. Wow, Goku and Vegeta actually have to fuse because neither of them individually, even as Saiyan warriors, even as some of the strongest Saiyan warriors we have seen in the show so far, they can't actually do anything to this evil monstrosity of concentrated negative power that is Janemba. So once he's Super Janemba, he starts manipulating space around himself, and then all the normal rules of the environment go out the window. We know about the dimensions, we know about the portals, we know about everything that Janemba can do to make the environment extremely unconventional and essentially a nightmare for anyone that is facing him. And in that case, it was Goku, and then later Vegeta, and then later Gogeta, who obviously made quick work of Janemba. So he isn't powerful because he spent years searching for some new transformation like most of the fighters in Dragon Ball that we've come to watch and see for most of our lives, but because he is powerful from his entire existence as a consequence of abnormal concentration of negative energy that was never supposed to produce something like him in the first place. I think the anomaly that it even happened sometimes goes over people's heads. It's like he was never supposed to be created. He just appears because of these malfunctions. Essentially the perfect combination to create the worst thing you could imagine. And it's Janemba. I really still hope, actually to this day, that they find a way to introduce this character into whatever the newest version of the ongoing Dragon Ball series is going to be, because the concept can work and you can still do even more with that and keep him around in a way where he can actually take on some of your strongest fighters across the Dragon Ball multiverse, not just in Universe 7 or some variant of him. I think that would be awesome and scary at the same time. Maybe he discovers a secret technique or something. Give me your thoughts on Janemba.